Well, for more reaction on the domestic portion of my interview there, Joe and Nia are back. John Stanton of BuzzFeed is here because we didn't have enough goatees on the table. There you go. On the desk for the well. And Amy Walter, of course, of the Cook Political Report. Joe, let me quickly start with you. You just made a comment off camera. Make it on camera. What you just said, you thought you've heard deja vu all over again.
I'm surprised. I think the president's more engaged than he's been engaged. I've been watching and saying, you know what, this guy looks like he's finally getting re-energized and he's ready to play. But then I hear him say, well, you know, if we win this time, then this time Republicans are going to get the message they have to work with us. He had said that to me in 2012 before the election. And he said, well, if we win this time, then they'll understand that I'm legitimate and da-da-da. And I said, well, Bill Clinton got reelected and we impeached him the second time.
Is that what you're headed? Yeah, I know.
That's not where I'm headed. But the idea that if Republicans don't win this time, that suddenly they're going to play ball isn't the answer. The answer is figuring out the way you figure it out. And is that how do you come to a deal with these guys on issues that matter? You
know, Stanton, he was trying to make the rationale for why the midterms matter. And when you have to say, I know some people don't think, but they really do matter.
You've already lost.
It's a tough sell. Clearly, it's about energizing the Democratic base. He was the xylophone, as Chris Matthews likes to call it. He was trying to tap all the right notes for the right constituency group.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, he went down the laundry list of things to get, women out, to try to get Latinos out. But, the reality is that this election sort of doesn't matter unless there is some thing that happens in the next, 2 or 3 weeks that creates a massive wave.
I'm trying to have a bunch of shows here before the election, so let's not say fully that it doesn't matter. Right?
But, I mean, in terms of legislation passing, if Democrats keep the Senate and they have a 2-seat or 1-seat majority, or if Republicans take it and have a 2-seat or 1-seat majority, you still are left with essentially the same dynamic in Washington until, as Joe says, until he figures out a way to get around that. It's going to stay the same.
All right, let's go to the immigration issue here, Amy and Nia. First of all, nobody's happy with this. We've got the president getting hit left and right. Here is America's Voice Education Fund, a pro-immigration immigration rights group. In June, President Obama promised he would take every action he could to fix our broken immigration system before the end of the summer. Today, President Obama said that he won't until after the election, but delay comes with a human cost. Meanwhile, John Boehner says this: there's never a right time for the president to declare amnesty by executive action, but the decision to simply delay the deeply controversial and possibly unconstitutional unilateral action till after the election instead of abandoning the idea altogether smacks of raw politics. Raw politics.
Isn't it always raw politics, Chuck?
This is more so than most, though, from the president.
It is, although I will say this. He is correct when he said after the crisis on the border, there was a jump in concern. And you can see that in the polls where this issue really on border security went up. Where it becomes raw politics is when you recognize that Democrats are playing complete defense this year in the race for the Senate. They're playing in red states where this issue is always going to be red hot. So whether there was a border security issue or not, taking executive action on anything that Republicans can call amnesty was going to boost up the Republican base.
And you look also, Arkansas, Louisiana, North Carolina, Alaska, Kentucky, Montana, Georgia. This does not help a single Democrat.
In fact, Nia, let me put it this map. You had this great stat. Look, 8 of the 9 states with competitive Senate races, Hispanics make up less than 10% of the electorate.
That's right. I mean, very small. I mean, if you look at those southern states right now, I mean, it's anywhere between 3 and 8% of this electorate. It'll be different going forward because you do see this population boom among Hispanics. You look at a state like Colorado, this is going to matter. And you already have Mark Udall saying, he wishes the president would have moved forward on this. 12% of the electorate in Colorado will likely be Latino.
Well, that's what I wonder. He's trying to get the Democratic base out.
Yeah.
And this is going to upset.
In that one state, this 2016, this is a bigger problem for Republicans going forward. If they are seen as a party that still does not bring in Latinos, that is a big problem.
They're not thinking about 2016.
They're not thinking about
exactly. They worry about that.
All right, coming up, I got more from President Obama.